Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Ivan Barnes-Holmes, and I have been asked from some lovely colleagues and friends of mine in Israel to make a short video that you might find helpful and that may give you some guidance on how to survive and navigate the terrible conflict that is currently unfolding in your country. I can, of course, speak to some extent about these things as a very senior behavior therapist. I have many years experience in dealing with group and individual trauma. And on a personal note, I have experience of living in conflict, growing up as a child in the Troubles in Northern Ireland. And I have had the experience of having a member of my own family executed. And I know what it's like to be on the ground during that experience. So in a sense, I'm coming from both of those places in my information and advice to you today. If you think about your life before and the safety and the certainty and the little practices and routines that you had as like a little bubble that you were living in. It isn't a perfect bubble. It changes, but it was your bubble and it was manageable. And you felt empowered and safe and certain inside that bubble. And then all of a sudden, your bubble is burst. And you find yourself drawn into the bubble that is conflict and its pain and its hurt and its violence and its details and its absolute and utter despair. And it is a very, very painful place to be pulled into something that's so different from the bubble you lived in before, and to be pulled in from a bubble where you felt you had some power and sense of your place in the world and control over it, to be pulled into a bubble that seems so vast and so beyond your control and so about others and less so about you or the people that are close to you. And my advice and suggestions about how to navigate that place are as follows. If you think about the things that you had before, some of which are gone, some of which are still available. Perhaps you're lucky and your home is still available. Perhaps you're blessed and your loved ones are still safe and they're nearby you. And I am suggesting that you take those things from your previous bubble that you loved and that you cherished and that really mattered to you, and you anchor yourself in a new little bubble, your bubble, not one created by other people, yours, a bubble that's about you, a bubble that has the things that you love in it. And some of the things of your previous bubble, they will be gone and you won't be able to put your hands on them. But whatever you can grab and hold on to and reach in for in that bubble that was normality, my advice is hold on to it very, very tightly and anchor yourself in that place every day. It isn't about focusing on what you haven't held on to. It's about trying to nourish yourself by the things you have managed and have been permitted to hold on to. Now, of course, the war bubble is never far, and it is a real threat to your physical and psychological well-being and that of the people you love. But you need to be very, very careful stepping out of your own little bubble and walking a path directly into that one, because that bubble only contains bad things. So if you put your hand into the conflict bubble, take out just what you need. Take out keeping an eye on the situation. Take out staying up to speed with the broad situation. But be very, very careful about taking out too many details or getting very focused on media or social media, etc., because all those details, they won't sit comfortably inside your own little anchor. In your bubble, it's a bubble about you. It's a bubble about safety, and it's a bubble where you can breathe and rest while the world allows you to do that. if you pull details again and again from the conflict bubble, you will only destabilize your ability to be safe and strong. It isn't about not being real. And it isn't about pretending it's as normal as it was before. It's about finding a safe place, creating another little bubble between those two bubbles and anchoring yourself in that place and taking from the old what nourished you and limiting what you take from the old that will simply frighten and destabilize you, and create that bubble with your name on it that identifies and specifies the best life you can have that day, the psychologically safest, most comfortable, and closest to you bubble that you can create. As much as you can of the old one, and limit your access to the new one as much as you possibly can. And in my experience and in my professional work, I have learned that that is a place from which you can stay psychologically as safe and as content and as grounded as can possibly be in a situation like this. And I wish you all safety and peace in your lives and in your country.